I have a question. No, I'm not a scientist. No, I'm not a theologist. No, any other type of specialist in the field. Yeah, just an ordinary person. Just like any other ordinary individuals, I have questions. Now, this question in particular, how can sin exist in a world which was created and which is governed by an almighty being in which all things emanate? Now, this question, it arose from a conversation that a colleague and I were having in regards to the general nature of religion. And so he asked me, had I read the entire Bible? And I told him honestly, I haven't. The reason being is that the Bible in itself was rather insufficient in its delivery, for me personally, to acquire a working understanding of us as individual human beings in relation to our position within the whole of the cosmos. And so as far as this whole concept of sin is concerned, well, the interpretation presented by the traditional and orthodox religions will lead their followers to believe that sin is the consummation of a conscious decision on the individual's part to willingly disobey the commandment of God, thence falling out of God's good graces in need of redemption. Well, from my perspective, that whole conjecture stands on a self-destructive pedestal erected on a foundation of sand built in the path of the rising tides of the Sea of Time. If a God is this almighty and infinite being that has its guiding hands in all things, then how can a mere human being dictate for himself whether or not to follow the command of God? A God through which all things manifest themselves. So into the discussion comes the idea of free will. On the surface, free will, just by the definition of the word, would indeed imply that man has the capability of disobeying God's law. However, a further investigation of the term free will, or the concept of free will, would only lead one to examine the origins of its existence. Where did it come from? And so if you say that God gave you free will, then would it not be God's commandment for you to exercise your free will? Would not the exercise of your free will be the following of God's commandment? I don't know. But like I said, from my perspective, indeed it would be. If God gave you free will, then you following your will freely would indeed be the following or the fulfillment of God's command. Not to say that your decisions don't have ramifications upon the rest of the world, and that you have to be responsible for your decisions and your actions. Indeed, you have to be responsible. You have to take full responsibility for your actions. However, the whole concept of free will originates from God bestowing that upon us as individuals. And so to say that by following your free will and you're so-called going against God's commandment is erroneous. It's irrational to believe. And so that brings us back to the question of how does sin fit into this equation? Where does it belong? But then again, how can sin exist in a world which is created and which is governed by an almighty being through which all things emanate?